Now as a quick review, I'm just going to throw one more cylinder without so much talking. Throw it down to the center with some bit of force. First motion is to wet it and to push down. Really make sure it's nice and attached. And I'm letting my hands take turns, pushing in, pushing down. Another thing to remember is if I have this uneven skirt of clay around the outside, just simply use the side of my thumb and true it up to round. I'm centering it to a shape that's tall and narrow because I'm shooting for a cylinder that's tall and narrow. Hold my left hand nice and steady. Drill my thumb down. If I hold my left hand nice and steady, the clay has to stay centered. It's much better than just drilling it down with no reference point. I'm compressing a nice flat bottom that's 1.5 inches wide and 1/4 inch deep. Make sure your hole doesn't get too wide, otherwise you're not going to get the height out of your cylinder. I'm going to stop it for a moment, quickly check it with my pin tool, mark it with my finger. I'm at 1/4 inch. I definitely don't want to go any deeper. Wet my hands. I'm going to collar it in. It's coning in towards the center. Make a divot on the bottom edge here. Ready for my first pull. Wet the wall inside and out using my 2 middle fingers. This middle finger goes in the groove. Inside one is side opposite. I'm pushing in towards the center with a good deal of force. My wheel's going a little bit slower now. Gently release pressure. Control that top edge. Finger on each side and across the top. Same thing for my next pull. Wet the wall inside and out. Divot on the bottom side. Pressure inward. Remember that inside hand is not doing any pressing. It's just something to press against. Gently releasing pressure. Being careful not to over pull the top edge. I don't want to maintain pressure as I go over the top edge. I always want to gently release and control. One more pull. We're almost at 1/4 inch. On this last pull, I'm letting my hands take turns. I'm pushing out a little bit, and I'm pushing in. Doing a little bit of pre-shaping makes my job easier when I go to rib this pot. Gently release pressure. Touch the rim in a V so that it no longer has a flat top, it has a nice rolled taper. Now I'm ready to rib this pot. Can make any curve that I like. I work back here at 4 o'clock. Remember not to hold it at a 90-degree angle. I'm turning it so that it's moving with the pot. I have wet fingertips gliding along the inside to support the pot. I clean the rib. After each time I use it, remember not to move the rib up and down. Just hold it in one position. I hold it up to the pot and press the pot to fill the curve. Then I clean my rib. Always make sure I have wet fingertips on the inside so that I'm not dragging it. I never want to be creating friction. So I'm cleaning the slurry off the surface, removing my throwing marks, adding extra volume. I'm going to rib the outside and then rib the inside. Again, I'm always holding the rib with 2 hands so that it doesn't get away from me. Use my wooden knife to give it a 45-degree angle undercut. Get rid of a lot of excess clay and true it up to round. Side of my finger to create just a nice little change of direction to stop the glaze, protect the kiln shelves. While it's still spinning, just insert the sponge to make sure you clear up that lake of water in the bottom so it doesn't cause any cracking problems. And when you're happy with everything, we're ready to cut it off. Wrap the wire short and tight between your hands. Dry your hands off so you don't leave any muddy fingerprints. Make sure you have a place that you're going.